happy? I've been doing this for so long. What happens when the things you've been doing for so long, you feel like God is calling you to something different? It was either YouTube or me. But I felt like there was a missing piece between me and my audience, and it showed. I knew that it was important for me to talk about these things because some of you don't know what it's like on the other side. Am I dating? Am I in a relationship? Am I married? During my phase of not really being on here, I feel like I've been able to understand what God wants me to talk about. Whatever you're looking for, if you're not right within, like, it doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter where you go. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Katan, and it's been a while. It's actually been a long time since I've made a video like this here on YouTube. This is gonna be a long-awaited life update. I'm gonna get into where I've been. And there's a lot going on there, and I hope that you guys will be able to relate to me or at least understand some of the stuff that's been going on. But I'll be doing myself a disservice and God a service to not tell some parts of my story, some of my testimony, and just like let y'all know what's been going on. I have a cup of coffee here, and so if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go, let's get into it. I do want to talk a little bit about, how I've been feeling, like my emotions, because it's interesting when somebody asks you, like, are you happy? And not being able to say yes, not necessarily being able to say no. Like, I wasn't necessarily saying like, no, I'm unhappy, but like, am I happy? Like, am I doing everything that I can every day to be the best version of myself? And I'm not even saying that I have to like always be working at myself, because I did have a time in a season where I was always like reading some self-help book, something, trying to get better. But then I realized, like, you are one created for amazing things, and you're already amazing as you are. Like, you deserve everything that you have. I was really feeling at odds between what I had and what I felt like I deserved, and there was a fight, right? Like, if you can imagine, it's just a whole lot of, you get to where you think success is in life, and it's not enough. I want to be someone who does whatever it is that I feel like God is calling me to do, and let God cancel it out if it's not meant to be. I have a bunch of notes that I wrote down just to make sure I didn't forget anything, but I do want to start from the beginning. So the last time I posted like a real video where I was kind of talking about what was going on was when I lived in LA. And I haven't lived in LA for a really long time. I've been telling you guys I did want to do like a whole like why I left LA video. If you guys want to see that, let me know. I want to start off by saying I just want to thank you guys, because the support that I've been receiving has been so amazing. I still post on Instagram and TikTok, sometimes on Pinterest, and I haven't really been talking a lot about what's been going on. I post here and there, y'all really rock with me. You guys really actually show a lot of support, and it does not go unnoticed. I think when you start to build a community, build a platform, sometimes you can get lost in numbers, and it's like, oh yeah, did this do as well as this, or did the algorithm do this? I want to have a more deeper relationship with my audience and just talk about the things that I care about, because I know y'all care about that for the most part. Like, I feel like we're in sync, and I've always felt like YouTube was just a little bit different. It was more time to speak about what it is that's going on. I used to do vlogs. I used to do a lot of things that I think you guys really like, but for the most part, I really enjoyed creating that content. I never really thought it would be, I think it's been about 3 or 4 years since I've really sat down on YouTube. Like, I was so overwhelmed with so much, which we'll get into, and I just had to take a break. So never expected it to take this long, but we're back. The fact that I'm making this video is testament to that, because it's been a long time of me teasing y'all. I've been posting on Instagram. I'll be like, when is she come back on YouTube? And you guys are like, when? You guys really kept that energy for me, like, when you come back? I got so many questions on my YouTube, for sure. You guys have been, messaging on different videos, but also on my Instagram, on my TikTok, even on my Pinterest and emails. I have gotten so many questions. Where are you? Where have you been? What's going on with you? Where do you live now? Da 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 da. So all of those things will come in this video. I'm not gonna leave you guys hanging. I do want to share what's been going on and what God has been doing. And I also just felt like I was going through such a season of, I've been doing this for so long. What happens when the things you've been doing for so long, you feel like God is calling you to something different, something bigger, something better? What happens when you don't feel connected to the thing that you had built? That was what was going on with me. And I really started to go through a season of like, am I an imposter in this space? And I really resonated with a lot of content that was talking about imposter syndrome. Like, what is it I was doing? In my mind, I was like, I'm not even doing anything, in my opinion. Like, that's what really started to happen. I felt like the devil started to make me feel like, you're not even saying anything, so what's the point? Pre-pandemic, I was going through like, okay, what do I want to do with my life? And a lot of you saw me move to LA. That was just a time where I was like looking for just more in this space. I would say lost in a bit, but I was trying to find my home, like where I would call home. Atlanta was starting to feel less and less like that. I was just like really by myself, and I started to feel like, okay, well, where is somewhere that I can go that, could be good for me? I started looking into London, I started looking into Lagos, because I'm Nigerian. I started looking into even New York. New York came up a bit, but LA was the place that I was praying. I was like, God, if I'm meant to go here, make it smooth, make it easy. And when I tell you, the gates to go to LA were like wide open. It was really like anything I wanted to do was just happening. Anywhere else I wanted to go, like whether it was Lagos, that kind of fell through with details. London, same thing. And New York was just also like not where I needed to be at the time. And I truly believe that when you align yourself with what God wants for you, the sky's the limit. I was like, you know what, God, it's me and you. If it's not gonna work out, it's not gonna work out. I just was looking for more. I was like, there's more in this space. My management at the time was based in LA. So it just made sense. It made sense. I had some really close friends there. I made the move. If I remember correctly, it was around 2018, end of 2018, moving into 2019. I traveled a lot during that year. So I was in LA, but I really wasn't, right? I was still trying to figure it out. Then go on this trip. The trip was to Lagos, Ghana, and also to Dubai. So I was going to do my birthday in Dubai. If you guys know, my birthday is beginning of January. So, we all did a little thing. After that, I went back to LA. At this point, my sister came as well. She came shortly after. And then February hits and March hits and it's pandemic time. So we're all just here sitting at home. I'm sitting at home in LA. LA hadn't really gotten to feel like home yet. We were in the pandemic. I think everybody's world kind of just like shifted and stopped, right? Well, for me, I ended up having to really look at, was LA for me, or was I really looking for something that I can look for within? But the question that my therapist at the time was telling me, she was like, wherever you go, there you are. Whatever you're looking for, if you're not right within, like, it doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter where you go. And I feel like the way it all worked out with me going to LA, with so much happening for my career in LA, I cannot tell you what would have happened if I had done the pandemic anywhere else. And you know what's so crazy? That's what happens when you move with God, because even though I had to leave LA, I truly believe LA was great for me for the season, right? It helped me realize so many things. To be able to sit here today and talk to you guys about anything that I've gone through, I credit that to so many things, but also like being in LA at the time that I was. Like that was such a big moment for me and such a big season in my life. And a lot of great things came out of LA. I made some really great friendships, solidified some really great friendships. My sister and I got really much closer than I've ever been in LA. And then I moved back to Atlanta. Just talking about the things that I went through at that time just makes me even grateful for having a relationship with God, having a support system that understood that this life, you have to get right within. You have to, be able to find what God has for you, the purpose God has for you. Because when I tell you, it was getting a bit, it was a bit touch and go. It was a bit touch and go. If you're looking at this video for the first time, I have a brand called Atara Avenue. It's been on pause for a little while. It was also one of the things that I let go of for a time being, because I also felt like there was too much that I was dealing with. Relaunching some things and posting some things. So if you're excited about, these type of outfits, like boo-boos, some more head wraps, we have not, head wraps is where we started from, y'all. That's where we're going to. So head wraps, some other really cool things that we're working on. So stay tuned for that. We are bringing back Atara Avenue. Oh my God, I'm so excited because I don't know if you can tell, like if I had made this video even just a few months ago, I think it would just been a different type of video. Even if life is hard, you can also serve a God that can fight any battle for you. And for me, it just took me taking the time to get closer to him and figure out what it is that he wanted me to say in this space, at home, in my friendships, at church, wherever he wants me to speak, I'm signing up to speak. As hard as it may be, I'm signing up. I really hope that my testimony and just my journey in life helps any one of you. A lot of you guys asked me what it's like being in this space, but I want to make this video to be able to talk to you guys on a larger scale, on whoever will watch, whoever will listen, just so many things that I've been through and like what I would do differently or what lessons I learned in some of the things that I went through. One of the things that really got to me and what made me take a break from social media was burnout. I was totally 150,000% burnt out. Like I was doing a lot more than I felt like I had the energy to do, the capacity to do, and I was done. I mean, YouTube had to go or I was done. It was either YouTube or me. because it was one of the two. Like I was definitely feeling so overwhelmed and so much like, do I even like this? Do I have anything to say? Like what's going on with me in this space? But being burnt out, I would then take breaks, right? I would take some time off, you know, I'd be like, oh, we're gonna take some time off. And I would come right back into the same system. And I realized that if you don't fix the systems that got you burnt out, you're gonna be burnt out again. Immediately I would come back and I wouldn't be able to film any videos. Something that I would do so often, you guys know my output, like I would literally be posting videos back to back. I mean, sometimes, just if you think about all the social media platforms that I was on, I was posting very consistent content. It started to take a toll on me during the pandemic specifically because there was just so much that I felt like I had to do. And I was nearing the end of, I think, where God was taking me in that season, because I was doing a lot of things that I know God was saying, well, I need you to talk about this more. I need you to, you know, spread the gospel more. I need you to talk about some of the things that you're going through, like the deeper stuff. And I'd be like, nah, you know, we're just gonna just talk about like the stuff, the fashion, which I still love and I still will be doing more videos on. But I felt like there was a missing piece between me and my audience, and it showed. I knew that it was important for me to talk about these things because some of you don't know what it's like on the other side. There's really great things. I'm so grateful for my life and what God has done for me and the favor, because some of this stuff is favor. It's been a journey. I think that one of the things that I was always afraid of, I was talking about anything that I've been through, whether it's burnout, whether it's depression, whether it's, you know, just like feeling alone or whatever it is, I felt like people wouldn't really relate to me. Like I felt like it was a struggle that I had to deal with on my own. And I genuinely wouldn't talk about things. I was always that friend that they always tell you to check on, like to check on the strong friends, because I'm always like the person that people can come to and talk to, the person that would just always have like a solution for things, because I mean, I'm just always like, okay, how do we fix this? How do we fix that? And I would always be that person for other people, but when it was my turn, I didn't feel like I had that. And genuinely, it's not even like I was really going to people with it. I think I went to somebody who I thought was my friend at the time, and I just didn't get the response of like understanding. I think it was just like, yeah, but you have such a great life. And I think it's tough when on the outside it seems like you have such a great life, and don't get me wrong, like I said, I'm very grateful, but there's something about feeling like your problems are valid. And I felt like, okay, yeah, I might have issues with being burnt out, but it's like at least I have the opportunity to create content. And I would try to navigate life through that. Like I would still do what I could, because I'm like, I can't complain. I have no reason to complain, until it took a toll on me. Until I realized that like, no, your problems are valid. You can have issues that you're dealing with that maybe some of the people may not be able to relate to, but they can understand. But then also I needed to realize that, yeah, my problems are valid. If I have something to say, I can share it because somebody else may be dealing with the same thing. I just shut down. I would, you know, I left. I would leave other platforms, which are a little bit easier to kind of create short form content. So I still had, you know, my Instagram and my YouTube. I would post photos. I'm still going on trips. There were so many trips that I went on though that I never posted about. So many places that I experienced, and I just wanted to experience for myself. I've been doing social media for the past over 10 years now. I think it should be 11 at this point. It was a long time. And doing social media for so long and starting to feel like you were nearing the end of whatever that season was really hard for me, because in my mind it was like, oh, this is how you do it. You do things like this. And when I started to shift and try to, you know, do other things, I couldn't even figure it out because I was a beginner. And I didn't think I wanted to be a beginner anymore. I think I was fine with being, you know, somebody who had excelled at something. But whenever God calls you to a new season, it's time. It's time for the new season. And I felt like that was what was going on. During my phase of not really being on here, I feel like I've been able to understand what God wants me to talk about, what God wants me to use my platform for. A lot of it is still what I was using it for. I didn't think it mattered. And now I understand that like people actually do want to hear whatever it is I have to say, whether it's in the fashion space, whether it's in the content creation space, whatever space it is. Yes, my problems are valid and your problems are valid too. If you're going through something that you are just like, oh, am I alone in this? That to me is a tool of the enemy, because what you're going through, other people are going through too. And if you feel sadness around what it is you're going through and you don't speak about it, that's gonna give it more power. You're gonna continue to really feed it. And I felt like I was feeding a lot of my, you know, problems instead of talking about it and actually, you know, working through them, whether it's in therapy, whether it's with my closest friends, whether it's me and God, just kind of just powering through. Those are the things that I had to deal with. But at first I had to deal with the fact that I had problems in the first place and they were valid. So moved out of LA, dealt with a lot of, do I happen to stay in this space? Moved back to Atlanta. And the reason why I moved back to Atlanta was very simple for me, right? Family. My brother was about to have my nephew, and I was just like, I think I just don't really need to be in LA anymore. I feel like what I've done in LA was enough. I wouldn't trade my time in LA for anything. It showed me the importance of family and importance of community so much clearer than it's ever been. And I lived in Atlanta. This Atlanta that I came back to after the pandemic, if you know, you know, it's a different city. It's a different city entirely. So that's been something that I've also had to get used to. I feel like I moved back to a different place. And so, we're rocking with it. But I'm very grateful for the things that have happened in the past few years since the pandemic. Like I was able to buy a house, and I don't know if the prices in LA were really making sense for me at the time. So I'm very happy to move back to Atlanta and bought a house. I'm so grateful for that opportunity. I have that house, and I also have this house that you guys have seen that I want to do more videos about, and decorating this house. And if you guys want to see a house tour, any of those things, definitely let me know, because I can do one. I definitely can. Just leave any video ideas that you have for me down below, because I am in a space where I really want to create the things that I really enjoy, but I also want to create whatever you want to see from me, because you already know I thoroughly enjoy making vlogs. I enjoy making fashion content. I won't be able to do every little thing, but I can do some. A question that I get a lot often is like, am I dating? Am I in a relationship? Am I married? No, I'm not married. I'm not in a relationship at the moment. And yeah, that's the end of that. I might pop up married with a kid. You never know. You never know. I might, but as of right now, I'm single, and I am not married. To get out of some of my darkest seasons in the last few years, since I haven't been here and talking to you guys, some of the things that have helped me, I mentioned earlier, so therapy. I've also just, like I said, spent a lot of time with me and God. And I think one thing that I learned in this season as well is closed mouths do not get fed, ever. If you can't tell people what's wrong, or if you can't articulate what you need. I also have found a home church here in Atlanta. I think it's so important to find a church community where you can feel like you belong. It's not always easy, and I think my advice for you is to just try different places. You never know where God might be calling you to, where you might be actually called to serve. So since I'm on social media, since I'm here, I want to make sure that I'm an advocate for people being on purpose here, creating content on purpose, being purposeful in the things that you're commenting. Like, I don't, the negativity, it doesn't have, I don't want it to have a space in my community, but also if I can help anyone do anything positive in this space, I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of shifting the narrative of social media. It's a great place. It can do so much, but it also can do so much damage to people's mental health, to people's lives. So I don't want to be somebody who doesn't contribute positively to the space, right? Like, I want to continue to provide value and help people and do the things that I feel like I'm called to do. So I want to make sure that I'm in this space to be of value, of purpose, to be a vessel for whatever God wants for me. So anyway, I'm gonna leave you guys. I don't know if I said anything. If I did, I hope it resonated with someone. And yeah, I'm gonna be posting more videos, so definitely stay tuned and like and comment and share to anyone you feel like may need a little bit of encouragement. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.